Hey, what is going on, guys? So today we're going to be responding to a post and some other things from a channel called the Hoof GP. It's ran by somebody named Graham Parker. I came across this reel of his in which he was showing the hoof trimming of a dairy cow who had a terrible lesion. I'm going to show the video, but it is rather graphic, so for people that can't handle something a little bit gross, I'll have a timestamp right here for you to go to skip the showing of the video.
Now that is what you call a squirter. This is a cow's hoof, and before we trimmed her, she could barely bring herself to even touch the ground. It was so sore. When we first picked up the foot, it didn't look all that bad, but it wasn't long before we found the telltale signs that let us know what was hidden below. After partially trimming away the sole of her hoof, there was a huge release of pressure. In all honesty, I wasn't totally prepared for it, and it absolutely stank. It hadn't quite finished bubbling out yet though. I quickly applied this block to her foot, cleaned the whole lesion out, doused it in iodine, put this bandage on, and let her go. And wow, didn't she look better?
Now, it goes without saying that that cow was clearly suffering, and what he did for her was a great thing. Graham Parker's content is centered around hoof trimming, and he's clearly a professional at what he does. But after watching the original video I just showed, I managed to read some of the comments, and my whole vegan hypocrisy radar just started going off. Here are some of them. These are so gross, but so satisfying. I could literally feel the relief. You're a godsend for these animals. Bless you. Wow, you are a miracle worker for these cows. Remember that one, guys, because we're going to comment on that. Poor baby, thank you for helping her. I like watching you guys care for the animals. Thank God Almighty for people like you guys. You are a hero. Thanks for helping these cows. You're a good man. I'm so glad that you could help her. So, I'm reading these and I'm realizing that these people are praising him for a hero, and some are even calling him a miracle worker for these cows. And I start to scratch my head thinking, this dude definitely munches on the dismembered corpses of murdered cows. So after having these thoughts, I decided to go to his Instagram and I found this. Probably the best burger alive ever had. If you're in Aldi or anywhere near Kirkcaldy, don't know how to pronounce that, call in at the Buffalo Farm or look for their products on the shelves in Aldi stores. Wow. And yeah, we were trimming there today, and no, this is not an advert, but yes, it should be. So he is a hero for cows who need trimming, while also promoting the mass breeding, commodification, exploitation, and murder of cows for a literal cheeseburger. And I have no doubt that either most or all of the people commenting that he is a hero also fund this kind of cruelty toward cows. And yeah, I said cheeseburger. There's cheese on the burger, which makes this all a bit ironic because the video we just watched included a dairy cow. So call me a crazy vegan or whatever, but I find it a little odd, just a little odd, that we live in a society where animals are bred to be mass commodified, exploited, and murdered in order to be turned into cheeseburgers, and there are people who help take care of these animals' hooves during this exploitative process, who also pay for these animals to be murdered at a fraction of their lifespan. And while all of this is happening, these people are called heroes to cows, or even miracle workers for cows, by people who also fund cows being exploited and murdered. Like, what is going on here? And he doesn't just work with dairy cows, he also works with beef cows. So there's a chance that he's actually eaten one of the animals he's helped. And going a little bit down his Instagram, I found this. You gotta love milk, especially when it's in the form of a milkshake from the We Aired Dairy. I've worked for the Love family in Stranraer, don't know how to pronounce that, for years and years, and genuinely love going there for the day. Having said that, today was a challenge. The cows don't always want to play ball. The Love family sell a portion of their milk directly from the farm to their customers. It's pasteurized and served from a vending machine. We see more and more of this all over the UK, and it's easy to see why they're so popular. The freshest of fresh milk directly from a source of fantastic quality. Now, if you're unaware, and I'm sure most of you watching that are vegan are aware, when a dairy cow is no longer producing milk at a cost-effective rate, they're murdered for beef. It just isn't profitable to spend all this money taking care of a cow when you know they aren't providing you a sufficient amount of milk to sell to humans. Now, could you imagine if Graham came in for one of his biannual sessions at this dairy farm, and there was a cow with a hoof as messed up as the one in the video we watched earlier, and before Graham has the opportunity to work his magic, the dairy farmer goes, "Oh, sorry, we won't be spending money on trimming her hoof. She isn't producing enough milk anymore. We're just gonna kill her to sell for hamburgers." This is how animal farms work. They care about their animals insofar as caring caring for them will generate profits. They don't care about the animals in the way that an animal sanctuary does. If the situation I just laid out was with an animal sanctuary rather than a dairy farm, Graham would be allowed to be the hero people in the comments describe him as. I really don't think I'll ever be able to understand this whole we love our animals culture that you see coming from these animal farmers. These people literally had these animals killed to sell their body parts when they're no longer of use to them. After seeing this post from Graham, I went to see what the dairy farm he promoted posts. And I saw this one that actually mentions Graham and his services. It says, our girls had a day of hanging around yesterday waiting for their favorite visitors. Our biannual visit from at the Hoof GP and team for some maintenance work as we're closing in on the end of summer, ensuring optimal hoof health, which seems to keep most other things in check too. We always say prevention is better than a cure in this case. See you in 6 months, Graham, Craig, and Kev, and thank you. Waiting for their favorite visitors. I just find it so weird and eerie to talk about these animals in this way, which you literally plan on killing once they no longer benefit you. Like, instead of saying our girls had a fun day hanging around yesterday, it should say our girls that we occasionally and plan on murdering once they no longer generate us profits had a fun day of hanging around yesterday. And the part about their favorite visitors, I wonder how they feel when they're visiting the slaughterhouse. Oh, and look at this post. These people are just so weird to me. Sometimes you forget what you inseminate the cows with, as we got a lovely surprise seeing Belty twins born this morning. So they're just forcibly artificially inseminating these animals so often that they don't even remember what they're inseminating them with. 140 must have been a good milker last year, as inseminating her with a Belty was her, quote, last chance after 3 previous failed AI attempts or artificial insemination attempts. I wonder what would have happened if she failed the 4th attempt. They go on to say, we're soft sometimes and always like to give the cows one last try. It's a good feeling when it works. Yeah, I really want to know what happens when they fail their one last try. These animal farmers are just a very weird bunch. It's like they're constantly trying to use all this language and rhetoric to make you forget about the fact that they are viewing these animals as products and will kill them when they no longer benefit them. They are not like family. They are products. That's it. All right, guys, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you support my work and want to get early access to it, you can click the link in the pinned comment and support me on Patreon. And if you don't know, I do have a book going over most, if not all, of the anti-vegan arguments you're going to hear online. If you want to get that as well, that'll be linked in the pinned comment. Lastly, there are 2 links below for vegan protein powder and vegan merch, both of which, if you purchase, will help support the channel. And I'll see you in the next video.
Dude.
Fuck off, I don't want anything to do with you. Don't ever speak to me again. You're a fucking piece of shit.
Even vegans don't get your weird, stupid wannabe sense of irony here. Who is your audience? Nobody gets these dumb jokes. Dude.